All right. It is middle of what? July? Actually, past the middle of July. And we're here to talk about whatever it is that we talk about. Uh, Yesterday, July 19th, the third ZX Spectrum Next Kickstarter launched. So if you're watching this within a certain time frame, you can hop on and get yourself a Spectrum Next. And in theory, they say that this will be the last one, but never say die. It could be the last one. Like this is going to be this is the last year of the Color Computer Festival in Chicago, which I think is up to its
Right.
20 something last meeting. So there's that. We can talk about the TS Pico, which is getting really close to launching. We're getting really close to being able to ship the update, but we found an interesting little bug within the past 2 or 3 weeks in the ROM. So we're working on ironing that out so that there's not multiple updates needed. So that when you update, you'll get the new ROM with all the bug fixes, not just a couple. Um, and Christian, I think, might join us. He's been working on some sort of project that I'm not entirely clear on, but he's having keyboard troubles with it. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. And as Ryan pointed out, today is the moon landing anniversary. So
If you believe in that stuff.
if you right, I am a firm believer in Capricorn One theory. That I went to see that movie instead of seeing Star Wars. I think.
I don't know what you're referring to, the Capricorn one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Capricorn One was probably the best science fiction movie to come out in its year, whatever year that was, in the 1970s. Um, and it is the embodiment of moon landing denial theorists.
Hmm.
And in short, and OJ was in it as an astronaut. So in short, the astronauts get on the rocket ship. And granted, I have not seen this movie since when I saw this as a kid, but they get on the rocket ship, and I believe that they are just like somehow taken off before it launches. Whatever, they're taken to a sound stage which looks like the moon, and then the rocket ship something has some sort of terrible disaster, and all of them die. And I think they escape. I remember like there's a scene of them wandering through the desert, and
That's the Star Wars scene with the bones, with the,
no, 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 wait,
yeah.
wait.
Oh, that you're getting the movies confused.
No, no. There's a anyway. So my recollection is that at the end of the movie, one of the astronauts shows up at their own funeral, thus puncturing holes into this. They went to the moon thing and died heroes. And I guess some folks took this as a documentary, not as uh, as some sort of science fiction film. And to this day, we are
Huh.
firm
It's funny
believers.
you bringing up some bad movies. I was just telling Valerie about what was I talking about just a few, like about an hour ago. I was like, mentioned Mars Needs Women. She was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You've never heard of that?" Of course she hasn't.
I
So,
remember that. That
hey,
was a good
baby,
one.
what you got there for me? Oh, oh, thank you.
that was the that was like a 1960s sci-fi film, right?
Yeah, when I looked it up, I didn't realize it was made for TV.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's made for 1968.
Um, so I don't recall if there's I don't recall off the top of my head if there's a lunar lander for the 2068. I assume that there's a lunar lander for the Spectrum.
There's got to be. I mean, if nothing else, probably someone made a basic one from the like 300 computer games for the basic or whatever it is, like where it's just all text.
Yeah,
It's
sure, that
this
one.
certainly.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like a graphical one,
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too.
and you know
Yeah.
what? If there's not, maybe we can convince Greg to write one.
While he's driving or wherever he's
He's
flying or
driving.
wherever he's doing.
I crashed a lot in that.
Paul, we all crashed a lot.
Well, if there is a text one, I can use the Chroma 81's got user defined graphics. So
Yeah,
that's a quick and dirty way to do it.
there we go.
I mean, surely. I mean, didn't Timex must have even released one. There's got to be
Well,
one,
I looked
right?
on this really great website called timexsinclair.com,
Oh,
and
never
it
heard of it.
says, yeah, it says the Cats Library Tape 1 had one, and
Oh,
it's in
really?
color. Yeah.
Oh, all right
Well, there
then.
you are.
Well, I know what I'm doing this afternoon. All right.
Oh, by the way,
Oh yeah.
I sent out a almost complete 2068 this week.
Now, when you say almost complete, like, was it missing a power?
Needed a power supply, and that was it.
Okay. Well, power supplies are those old power supplies. I wouldn't use them for anything.
I pointed them your direction for a suggestion on which.
Yeah, actually, I purchased a bunch of little teeny tiny 15-volt switching power supplies. I mean, it's about the same size as the little cell phone blocks.
A few months ago, Carl had a suggestion on that
Yeah.
from, I think, DigiKey, and I bought a couple of those.
Okay.
So I haven't actually used them yet because I haven't gotten around to playing with those, but they're here somewhere near the 2068s.
Well, how many
Near the top of the
2068s
pile?
do you have?
I have two complete ones that in theory are working, including my original one that I bought retail back in the day. And then I have parts from a variety of others because what's his name? David Mark Mobley or something like that. The guy
Mobley?
from
Mobley. Yeah, he's
Chicago.
here today, John.
I
Oh,
am
is
here.
there John?
Yeah,
Yeah,
John Mark
hi.
Mobley is here.
Oh, there he is. Yes. So John brought a bunch of the leftovers to Cocoa Fest. I missed the big Cocoa Fest where they were selling off the actual Timex Sinclairs, and I assume a couple of other interesting things went with that one. But then he had brought a bunch of stuff and was selling them at his table, and I basically said, okay, well, I'll just take the rest of it because it was bits and pieces. So there's like a bunch of shells. I think it's mostly a bunch of shells for that, and then there was just like a whole bunch of different kinds of different parts. So, I mean, I have two complete working ones. As
And
well,
5 power
I'm
supplies. So you're set for the next 3 when you pick them up.
Well, I have a couple of old power supplies, which, as we're discussing, probably not a good idea to use those. And so,
Well, you can
but
use them
yeah,
to keep your door closed or open, whichever direction you need to do.
true.
Those things have they're linear power supplies, and they've got some capacitors in them that are approaching 50 years old, and it's just not worth taking a chance. The voltage output can vary tremendously, and then that puts a greater load on the voltage regulators inside the 2068, especially that little.
Okay, so they have the same problem you're saying as the Commodore does, where the 5-volt line from the power supply can go quite a ways out of the 5 volts. And in the Commodore 64, when that happens, that usually fries something inside the Commodore 64.
No,
Well,
the Timex one is just a bridge rectifier and capacitors
yeah,
off the transformer. But all it takes is one of those old diodes to blow, and then you're pumping AC into the box, and yeah, it's bad.
yeah,
Or the capacitor to go bad, and then it's all ripply and bad. So
yeah.
yeah, it's probably a good idea not to use them.
But
And they don't unscrew, so you can't take them apart easy.
Well, yes. No, I just want to differentiate between like failure mode is just messes with the machine, or failure mode can destroy the machine. Those are two different
yeah,
categories.
Well, I'm not familiar with that familiar with the Commodore, but it sounds like the Commodore Brick puts out the 5 volts, that the rectifier, the regular voltage regulation is in the brick. But in the 2068, the voltage, the down voltage regulation is in the computer itself. So it takes what in theory should be 15 volts DC that's been rectified in the brick, but unloaded those things without being plugged into anything. That is, they put out somewhere between 19 and 21 volts. And when you plug it into your computer, then you've got some load on it, but still it's probably not 15 volts. And then that's where it becomes a kind of a problem, because the more power you put in, the more power
More heat it has to
turned into
dissipate.
heat. Yeah, just get like the little tiny 12 volt voltage regulator is the transistor size shape one. It doesn't need to put out very much power.
It's not a tantalum, is it?
No. I don't think
Okay.
there's any tantalums in the 2068.
I hope not.
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
Oh, kinds of capacitors, Adam. Tantalum capacitors are known for blowing up spectacularly.
Yeah, they do
Cool.
very interesting things when they die.
Oh,
Yeah. A lot of fun to
Oh.
hook up AC to them and watch them blow.
Yeah, it's just a little pop. It's just like one of those little crackers you throw on the
No.
ground and pop.
No, it's
It's
not.
not like a refo that blows out
So,
tons of smoke.
so I can tell you from personal experience that no, you can get an actual, number one, you can get an actual explosion which will throw small pieces of the capacitor shell quite a distance with quite a force. Fortunately, it went to the side on the PS2 Model 30 I was working on, because it was actually, we had looked for them on the board, and they weren't on the board. They were actually on the riser card that fits into the motherboard. So they went out the side. But when it exploded, it actually exploded. There was like a sparkler, there were a line of sparks that actually shot several inches out the side. Pieces of that went all over the place to the side. And then it kind of sat there, the rest of it kind of sat there and smoldered for a moment before it ran out of juice. So you can actually get an explosion out of a tantalum, and it's all the 16 volt tantalums. That's what they used on the 12 volt lines, and those things, we just look for those ahead of time now and just remove them or replace them depending on the circumstance, because they are actually kind of dangerous.
But they aren't nearly as much fun as a regular electrolytic that's completely dried out. And one of those arcs and sparks and explodes. Because there's the confetti of all that paper and wound paper or wound metal that goes everywhere, and you're searching for it on the board for hours.
I have not had that happen yet.
Oh,
thankfully.
Yeah, cross your fingers and hope it never does, because they stink and throw garbage all over your board. So yeah.
See, Joe, this is why you do it outside. Not saying that, as a young pyromaniac that me and my friends did this, but
no, I just have boards that I was currently working on that, the caps all looked fine, and then one just decides to give up the ghost and explode. Not just vent like the capacitor plague ones, but actually literally blow right off the board. So the only thing that's left on the board are the two little legs still soldered in, and then there's confetti everywhere. Yeah, more than once that's happened to me, especially on old television boards.
Yeah,
they have some voltage in there that tends to erupt capacitors. But yeah, fun times.
Fortunately, the 2068, even those big capacitors don't tend to do that. They're really robust. It's pretty impressive. There's no REFA capacitors in a Timex Sinclair computer, which are famous for failing.
Which is too bad, because then you can't get that nice wood fire smell out of it.
That's right.
And toast marshmallows.
You can sure. So, Mowgli, I'm impressed that you still have your original 2068, and I think you're among a few folks that I can think of off the top of my head who still do.
Well, I wasn't going to give that one up. I mean, I spent a lot of time on that one. I learned Z80 code on that one. Lots of good memories in my mom's basement because my mom did not believe in air conditioning, and so in the summer the basement was really the only place where you could stay halfway cool.
Yeah.
So
Cool. All right. So did anybody here back the third Kickstarter for the ZX Spectrum Next? I know one person. Oh, Phil, that's right.
Right.
And okay, so and the reason I kind of bring this up, Phil, is because one of the things it's going to do is the Sinclair QL.
Yes. That's the one reason, well, the main reason I backed it. You know, it was if I can't get an original running, at least I'll have something that will run it, run the software.
Yeah, and it'll be nice and fast, and it has an SD card instead of microdrives, and kind of looks like a QL.
There are multiple images of operating systems available for that too.
Yeah, there's lots of since
So you can run, the European versions of the operating system. You can run the American versions. You can run the modified aftermarket versions.
Will it run floppy disk?
That I don't know yet, and I'm curious about that myself.
Because a lot of my QL software data and stuff is on floppy.
Well, if you
So,
need a floppy drive, I got a box with one in it.
well, I got drives and I got disks.
So Phil,
I just
have you heard of a thing called the Grease Weasel?
the Grease Weasel?
Yeah, it's a little circuit board, I think, with an FPGA on it and some other doodads. It's got USB connector on one side and um, a disk drive connector. I don't know what that's called. Joe, what's that?
So what are they?
Disk drive connector.
34 pin or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
34
Sugars, yeah,
pin
the
ribbon
34
cable
pin.
connector.
Okay, Sugard. Okay. So, and you can hook it up to anything from 8-inch to 3-inch drives, like the 3-inch Hitachi drives that were used for the FDD system or on the Amstrad computers. And there's software that you run on your computer. It talks to the little circuit board, and you issue some commands and tell it how many tracks there are and what kind of format you want the data to be read back as. And then you can get what's called this raw flux image of the disk and then run that through something else, which I did not do.
Right. Those raw flux images apparently they can be hundreds of megabytes for like
Absolutely.
a floppy disk.
Absolutely. Right. So what I did was I've used this Grease Weasel to archive Oliger and Larkin disks, both of which wrote the data on the disk itself in a fairly standard format. And so I told the Grease Weasel to give me the data back. I think it was an IBM format is how the Grease Weasel interprets it. But what I ended up with was, depending upon how big the disk was, a file that was about 200 and some odd K to 400 and some odd K of
After it was processed, you mean?
after the Grease Weasel did its thing. I skipped right past the raw flux hit.
Oh.
And it just gave me this in essence ASCII file. It's 8-bit values, so 256 variations. And then I wrote a Python script to decipher the Oliger directory format and the Larkin directory format, and extract the files from there. But the QL, I mean, I'll look it up, but I suspect that because the QL is more popular than Larkin and Oliger combined, that some folks have already figured out how to read QL disk whatever the QL disk format is, and convert that into something useful.
If I remember correctly, it pretty much followed the IBM standard.
Okay. Okay.
Because I used that information in order to figure out how to read the 2068 floppy disk from the Oliger system on the QL.
Oh, okay, that's right. You said that. You mentioned that before, Paul.
So I found the map that IBM used, and it worked.
Okay. Okay.
But a lot of this, I mean, these are all basically just Shugart compatible. It's Shugart compatible systems. So, I mean, that's some of the more. I guess it depends on what sectors per track and stuff like that it uses. But
Right.
even some of the PC reading programs can read some of the weirder sectors per track stuff, as long as they can make the floppy drive do the right stepping
Yep.
to get the bits in the right way. And I've got one that basically just figures out the track skew or the sector skew on and what order the sectors are in and things like that as it goes, and does a bunch of analysis on it. That's a PC program from I want to say maybe the 2000s that does stuff like that.
I just did a quick verbal search on it. It looks like you can use the Atari ST format for it, which is just a modified MS-DOS.
Oh, for the QL stuff?
Yeah, for the QL, that's what it
Okay.
doing. I'm driving, so I really can't go much further. Probably shouldn't have done the search anyway, but I was able to do it verbally. So
Now, where can you get this Grease Weasel?
you can find them on eBay. They're only like $35, $40. They're
Yeah,
super
they're
cheap.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Phil, when that time comes, give us a holler, because at least I can help you, and I'm sure some other folks who have Grease Weasels can help figure it out.
Well, hopefully this machine, this Kickstarter 3, does it have disk capabilities? Does it have a
Well, they said something about +3 disk capabilities, but I don't really know what that means, because I'm not that conversant in anything beyond the first Spectrum. So, those other models, I don't know that much about them, except that I know they have disks.
hopefully I do have a bunch of microdrives.
Mhm.
I don't-
Yeah,
well,
I
hopefully
know.
I get one of my original machines fixed and go from there.
Okay, cool. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we gotta wait till Christmas.
Yeah.
Can I ask, since we're talking about disks in general, what is the difference, or what is a hard sector disk and a soft sector disk? What does that mean?
Hard sector disks were used in very early computers like the Heathkits, and they have one index hole per sector. So as the disk spun around, there'd be like if you had nine sectors on your disk, you'd have 9 holes plus an additional index hole. So you'd have 10 holes all the way around. Whereas everything beyond that was soft sectored. In other words, it was patterns written on the disk,
Right.
and there was only the one index hole that said, okay, this is the beginning of, the start of everything. You should just count from here. So yeah, the hard sectors
And they're
were
like old school, like
fixed.
70s, right? Mid 70s or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
More
They're
8
5 1/4 inch hard sectored were unusual, but as he said, like some Heathkit and others used it. 8 inch floppy drives more frequently used hard sectored floppies.
And even though it's 8 inches, it didn't have a whole lot of capacity.
No,
Really, the 8-inch hard sectors were.
because the density of the stuff was much less back then than 5 1/4 inch floppies were essentially a step up from 8 inch as far as density of data went. So you could put more on a 5 1/4 inch floppy than you could on an 8 inch floppy.
Well, it
in
depends on
general.
floppy because when there were 360K floppies were really popular,
Mhm.
they came out with a 1.2 meg
Well, don't forget the
8-inch.
720K also.
I
Well,
have
yeah,
never
there was-
seen I've never seen a 1.28 meg 8-inch.
Oh,
Do you know
I
what
will.
computer that was?
IBM had them,
Didn't Cume
and
friends?
NBI, the word processing company, had
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah, because I worked for a company that sold NBI, and I was replacing somebody's word processing 8-inch floppy system with a PC, and they were just adamant that they did not want to let go of theirs because they could put 1.2 meg worth of data on their each 8-inch floppy, and it had two of them in there, and didn't want to downgrade these stupid 360K floppies, even though it was much faster and could do more and everything else. But yeah, they were just adamant they didn't want to do that.
Well, in the
Huh.
Yeah, Tandy, the Model 4 had 1.2s. Yeah, that's right.
oh, crazy.
Model
Okay, those are
4.
5.25.
Oh,
The Model 4 had 5.25-inch
You
floppies.
thinking the Model
Or
2?
Model
two, sorry, Model 2. Yeah, I'm sorry, Model 2. And
Okay.
well, they had what was the one that was built into a desk? I don't remember what that one was.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Was that Radio
Like a
Shack?
Tandy computer?
Well,
Yeah, it was a Tandy
well,
computer.
the
And it
Model
had-
1 and the Model 2 both had desks that you could buy that were specific to that computer that would make it look like a thing, but it wasn't built into the desk.
I think the hard drives were.
Joe's
The
I need
floppy
this for our
drives.
kitchen now.
Were.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of companies that I did service work for a long time ago, and they had one or two of these that they were using as a billing system, and they were connected together with serial. I mean, they had two when I first started working there, and then they decided to cut it down to one because they're transferring over to PC. But yeah, I remember that thing being quite the beast. It had like a terminal, like a model. It looked like a Model 3, but it was just a terminal.
Yep.
And then off to the side, like in a normal desk where the drawers would go, it had two 8-inch floppies and a CPU box. It was all built together.
Model 10.
That's it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Tandy 10. Okay.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
it was made by ads, the terminal people.
Yeah. Well,
Whenever
Yeah,
I'm on
they didn't
these
have the
meetings,
ads-
I
oh,
realize
sorry.
how many computers I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that?
they did the company that I did service work for I was installing the PCs. They didn't have the ads terminals. They actually had a Tandy terminal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was just like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the big old daisy wheel printer. That was
A big old daisy wheel. Yep.
yeah.
Well,
I did fix that a couple times.
Radio Shack had a lot of big old daisy wheel printers and
Yep.
Yeah.
big old dot matrix printers. I have a few of them.
At least they're
You ever seen
quiet,
a
right?
Line printer.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Some of those things you wonder exactly how they could get that much weight into that like small a package.
Lead. It
Yeah.
was all lead, my friend.
Big steel chassis.
Yes.
We had one of those daisy wheel Radio Shack printers at work, and we had to mount it on 1-inch foam because when it did a carriage return, the thing would just about jump off the table, and it was loud.
Yeah.
There is someone, I don't know if it's still available right now, but there's somebody in my area that's selling on the Facebook Marketplace one of those giant, enclosures that you made out of particle board and plexiglass.
Oh yeah.
That you used to be able to get. And
Printer
I remember
covers.
those ads in magazines. I never saw one though.
they don't know what it is, so they're calling it a vintage computer. And I don't remember exactly what else they said about it. I was like, no, that's not what that is. That's just to make your life a little
Yeah,
quiet.
no, it's a printer cover for
Yeah.
well again, loud printer to keep it quiet in the office. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at the local community college, I used to work in the mainframe room, and they had these line printers that were 132 characters, and they were in these big boxes like that. So the room was already loud enough when they were printing, but you'd have that green bar paper, and it'd be printing for 2 hours, or you'd have to replace it because they were fast, or band printers, these things were.
Hand printers, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were super loud. And so when you took it off, I mean, you had to make sure that it was not printing because that thing was, it was, I could
It
not
would
believe how loud it was.
it would cut your arm off if you put your arm in the wrong place. Those things were actually very dangerous if
Band printers?
not handled. Yeah.
Oh, well, no one ever told me that. I wish they had. I was always putting my arm in places trying to check it out. No, like, what do you mean by that? Because they were moving so fast? Is that why?
Look what I
So
did.
the paper goes through so fast, it's pretty much a
does.
saw. And
Yeah.
if you put anything anywhere near the edge of the paper, it will cut it off.
Oh,
And the ones that Willie worked on for a while, the paper flew about 4.5, 5 feet out of the back of the printer before it started to go down.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it all depends on the printer,
Paper
but
in less than an hour.
yeah. Yeah, most of the like IBMs that we had in the mainframe room, number one, the operators handled them. They didn't let the students anywhere near those things. And they had special cutouts that the printer would stop as soon as you went anywhere near opening the cover.
Oh,
And it would just stop wherever it was. They consider that kind of an emergency condition if you opened the cover while the printer was actually running.
it sounds like it now that I know why. Wow.
Craziness. Hey, John, we haven't seen you in a while. Are you going to come to VCF Midwest? I mean, you live there. Is John still there?
If you're talking to John, he has wandered off.
Oh, he
His
wandered
screen
off.
is
I'm sorry,
kind
I
of
can't see.
empty.
I can't see people.
He's
Oh, I
in the
see your
background.
Yes.
He's coming back.
I'll ask him when he gets back at his computer.
What is it? What is it that you're asking?
Are you going to come to the VCF Midwest?
Yeah, I didn't get a table this year.
Okay. Well, there's going to be a bunch of us.
It's gonna be even bigger than last year. I don't know if you saw it last year. I'm worried about even finding parking. Um, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna really be huge.
Most of the parking probably will be behind the facility, and hopefully we will work out some way that people can come in without having to walk around the entire darn convention center to get in. But we'll see. Also, I think the garage for the Goofy gaming complex that they basically nuked one of the parking lots to build I think the garage for that is going to be active, I hope. And it has a walkway to the hotel and through the hotel to the convention center. So I'm hopeful we'll be able to use that as well, but I do not know. I've already commented a couple of times to Jason and Mike that starting last year when they said, "Oh, they're going to nuke that parking lot that we're using," and I was like, what are we going to do with parking? So we'll see. That is a concern.
Yeah.
What's the name of that hotel?
Renaissance.
Renaissance? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's at the Schaumburg Convention Center,
And
which is attached to the hotel.
there's hotels that are nearby that are like within reasonable walking distance too. Isn't that one?
Oh yeah, there's I think at least two others that are like kind of across it's kind of a weird habitat thing where they have some different plants and different things set up, and you can walk through. It's kind of like a park, but kind of the Chicago idea of a park. So there's like little signs that talk about the plants and some of the animals that may or may not be around. And then there's a couple of walks through that area.
Last year, they had a parade of these people that call themselves furries.
through the convention.
Yeah, yeah, there was probably like 8 of them marching in one behind the other going through the convention for a time.
Okay. I mean,
Um,
it could be worse.
Sounds like
Well, so again, there's different fan groups that may show up to this and may or may not decide that they want to wear whatever it is.
Can we expect, maybe Monty Python reenactors or um,
If you can find some, encourage them. The show is free to attend. So really, if they just want to advertise to a bunch of geeks, half of whom should already know all of the words to the Monty Python songs, this is probably a good place for them to do it.
yeah,
Ministry of Silly Walks.
precisely. Yes. Yes. Well, it sounds like the Ministry of Furry Walks showed up last year. Hey, Christian, I see you have your mic and camera off, Christian.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
So, Christian, for the benefit of the people who are not on the email list, tell us what you have been working on building.
Well, I can get my video screen
Okay.
turned up now, and here it is.
Oh my God, what is this?
That is that DK Tronics keyboard that I had bought from you.
Okay.
And I got it, I gave it a new name in addition to giving it a whole new paint scheme. I call it the Spectrenstein Mark One.
Got one that's bigger.
Oh, you do, huh?
I see that you have, I'm going to spotlight you real quick here. I see that it has beautiful wood grain on one of the panels.
Yeah.
All right, so what's inside?
What is inside of that is it's a ZX or ZX, either one, Pico motherboard, and I can't think of the fella's name, but he's the one that has built the motherboard, and all I did was just put it inside this thing and modified the case to where it'll be able to get it to fit.
Okay. Okay. And you said that certain keys do not work.
Yes, I actually made this post-it note so that I can be able to remember which ones doesn't work.
B, N, M, symbol shift. Interesting. Okay, so B, N, M, and symbol shift and space are, I think, all in the same portion of the keyboard matrix, but S is in a different place. That's off to the left. And then delete, when you say delete doesn't work, so shift is it shift 0 also on the Spectrum?
Well, going by the, let me see if turning it. Well, that doesn't really help. But let's see. When I wrote down the delete and the period button, I was referring to these two down here.
Okay.
And this both don't work.
Yeah.
And of course, you know where the other stuff is at. But apart from that, it was working as it should.
Was that keyboard set up originally for like a ZX81 or TS1000?
The DK, I don't recall.
Because I know that like in the 1500 and the Spectrum, there's some lines that are flipped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the longer, the ones that go to more keys, like there's rows and columns. The column ones are flipped, so they're one over. I've run into that before where I tried to use like just plug in a ZX81 keyboard like into a 1500, and it's wired differently and I have to move pins around.
Well, I'm going to bring up the World of Spectrum page for this thing, which claims that. So here's what it looked like originally. Is that right, Christian? That it looked like this?
Yeah,
Okay.
used like that, and only
Okay.
it space bar, and that particular one there doesn't.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you have the one
Yeah.
with space bar.
Yeah, that's what made me think it wasn't the Spectrum one. It was the other one because DK-Tronics made one for the ZX81 as well.
Right.
And I think it had the smaller. Well, maybe that's the same size numeric keypad, so maybe it isn't. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
David Green is showing the one that's in the picture.
Yeah, this is the one that's for the ZX81.
The one you okay, hang on just a second, David. I'm gonna stop sharing and okay, thank you, Dave. Oh, and so it clearly shows that it's ZX81 on the case.
Yeah, that's a sticker, but yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So then part of the challenge here, Christian, is that these things were imported and we don't have, as much knowledge as, okay, I got another page. So it says on this English website, we can tell it's English, by the way, because it's CENTRE for computer history. Also that they actually know what they're talking about. So this is what it looked like, right, Christian?
It looked like originally.
Yep. Okay. And so this was for the Spectrum, and a separate keypad. So that must have had on the keyboard mechanism itself, it must have like diodes and stuff to facilitate that delete key, which is 2 keystrokes. The fact that you have half of the bottom row and the space is part on the Spectrum, the space is part of that half, tells me that you have a bad connection for that row. But the fact that S doesn't work is kind of really weird because if more than S was out, that would make sense, but only S, maybe there's just a bad solder joint. Those are physical keys,
or it could be a bad key switch. Do you remember what kind of key switches these were? Were they the like the two the key? No, what is it? Like the two blades that come together? You know what I'm talking about? Like on the TS1000. Yeah, can you pop one of the keycaps off?
Well, let me get something flat to use.
Okay.
Maybe I could. Well, maybe the space bar.
I wouldn't do the
yeah, that's probably the hardest one to get off.
Try the cap shift on the left. You should be able to pull that off.
Something here that I might be able to use. Maybe this will help. Which key did you say for me to try to get out?
The one on the far left corner is that cap shift. You should be able to just pull that right off just by hand strength, I think. Unless it's got a death grip on its stem.
You mentioned string. Might have something in here.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's the
can someone find the Sinclair the Spectrum matrix schematic and post it in the chat for Christian?
Then we still have some dental floss.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Well, hey, comes a time desperation.
Times.
Getting that to go down in there.
Yeah, yeah. What you need is a dental hygienist to pull that off for you. Yeah, that might work. It might work. You gotta lever it carefully though. Okay. Is there?
Yeah, you have to be careful if you're going to go from one side that you don't actually put pressure to the side and break off the stem.
Yeah. And what do you see? Is it just a little cross-shaped stem in there, Christian? I don't think it's open.
Like a flashlight.
Okay. Okay. So Joe, we don't know what's under there. Could be a.
Yeah, it's a cross.
Yeah, it's like a cherry one, but that could be either the ones with physical contact or the little rubber dome is inside that plastic housing. I can't, without looking at the bottom of the key, or the key switch itself, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
If it, so I can disassemble the thing so that we can have a look underneath
Well,
it.
you'd actually have to desolder the key switch out and then take it apart. It's yeah, it's quite the trick. I've fixed quite a few of them, but it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh, I have got
But
that.
there's a part number that's actually imprinted on the bottom of most of those key switches that'll tell you what they are. But you have to desolder it to get to the to get to the part number, which isn't convenient at all.
So, yeah, Christian, I mean, the S that only the S doesn't work points to a problem with the S key itself, like the key switch itself. That everything from B to the right suggests that half row, as Ryan pointed out, is not properly connected. So I'd start by looking at you have a voltage ohm meter? You have something like some kind of digital multimeter or something, Christian?
I don't think so.
Okay, you'd know if you did. So you know anybody locally who's good with electronics?
What?
Sorry, do you know anybody locally who's good with electronics, soldering stuff together?
Well, can ask around and see if I can find anyone that can do that.
Yeah, that's where I would start with. See if there's
Local school might be a choice.
Sorry,
high
Paul.
school or college.
Yeah, like a community college that.
Yeah, find a student.
Yeah,
they may have a bulletin board you can put a notice on.
Well, who knows? That might be an idea.
You got a DVM?
No, he says he doesn't have one.
Okay, no diagnostic hardware.
Right. Right. Christian, if you're going to do projects like this, it's worth investing in a digital multimeter. They're not terribly expensive. For a simple one off of Amazon or eBay or something like that.
Even Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that's right. Even Harbor Freight. They'll have them for dirt cheap. And then there's probably about 4,512 videos on YouTube on how to use a digital multimeter to do troubleshooting, which might help you out.
Well, I can be looking for one.
Yeah. So that's the route that I would go.
3-volt battery and a LED might help.
Yeah.
You just have to have little jumper cables with clips on it so you can hook it in there.
Do they have something like that at Harbor Freight, do you think, Paul? Like a simple.
No, you'd have to make it.
You'd have to make it. Okay. There's no
Continuity testers, most of them are automotive related, and they 12 volt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
They have a multimeter on at Harbor Freight for like $39.
Okay.
You can find them under 20 that are decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for something like this, you don't necessarily need a high-end fluke meter.
Right.
Oh.
Right. If only there were a place that carried these sorts of devices, and you could also like buy, little electronic parts.
I mean, like Radio Shack.
Like Radio Shack.
Be a place, yes, Radio Shack.
Radio Shack, those effers.
Remember the Battery Club?
Yes.
Get a free 9. Always got the 9-volt because that was the expensive battery.
Absolutely. Yes.
My local Radio Shack just shut down last December.
What? It lasted?
Yeah, we had a Radio Shack until last December. It was privately owned. Basically, it was a franchise, and they were allowed to keep the name until last December. And the two old guys that were running it finally decided it was time to retire, and so yeah, they shut it down. Now it's a phone store, just like we need another one of those.
Right, which is what most other Radio Shacks became. Yes. Ugh. All right, Christian, your mission is to go between now and our next meeting, go get yourself a digital multimeter.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
All right.
What's inside? Are they ribbon cables like on the original Spectrum, or are they wires?
It's wires. It's if I recall correctly, it's gray ribbon cable, but it might have been rainbow. I can't remember.
These are on my particular case here. It's all multicolored.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. That makes life, unless you're colorblind, that makes life a lot easier for the troubleshooting, because you can just work your way through the colors instead of counting, how many gray cables you've gone over. Half wire rows are on the 8-wire cable. Yes, I think you're right, Ryan, because the 5 is the columns, is it? I don't know. We'd have to look at the schematic.
Yeah, the 5 is the columns. I'm trying to save it over to this computer, and then I'll share it in just a second here.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
I had to find it. It was on a computer out in my shop, not on the one I'm working on right now.
Oh,
so. Doesn't Dave have a matrix map on his archives?
I have the 2068 schematic, which I think has in one corner the matrix map. But no, I actually do not recall putting one on the website, just because every other Spectrum or Sinclair website has it. But you make a good point, Paul.
Well, I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And now I'm like, yeah, I should put something up.
I've seen them, but I can't remember where. There we go.
Yeah, Joe's got one for us.
I actually have more than one, so it makes
it. Joe.
Well, so between these two those are the ones that I use for like the 1500 and stuff, because it's the same matrix. The keys are different, obviously, but it's the same matrix.
So I'm gonna. So Christian, do you see this?
Yeah, I see it.
And do you see how, if you look at between 5 and 6, T and Y, G and H, and V and B, there's a gap, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are connected together. 6, 7, 8, etc. They're all connected together, right? But there's this gap down the middle. This is what Ryan was referring to when he said half row. And you see how B N, M, symbol shift, and space are all in the same half row.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you said, all of those keys didn't work, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a good reason for that, because they're all in the same place. But S is, just one key in a half row. If A through G were gone and didn't work for you, then it would, be real easy. Be like, yeah, that half row wire is probably not working.
But the fact that only one is not working seems to suggest, to me at least, that there's just simply it's not getting the connection it needs.
On that one switch. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
All the others have the connection, but for whatever reason, the S doesn't have that.
Yep. And if you fix the line that goes to A15 on the keyboard matrix, that connects to the circuit board, you will get B through space working. So that's where the multimeter comes in, to tell you if, for instance, you would put the one end of the multimeter on the keyboard, and the other end of the multimeter on the circuit board, and see if there's actually a physical connection, like if the wire itself is broken or not, or has a bad solder connection.
I'll have to check that out. Or
Yeah.
there could have been a trace on the board part of it that could have been bad.
That's possible. Yep.
I may just need to put a bodge wire.
Yeah, exactly. But that's where a multimeter will come in really handy, is it'll help you figure out, where the problem is. Are you able to save these two images to your computer, Christian, from the chat?
I'm on my mobile phone right now.
Okay.
But I can still save these.
Okay.
Or try to, at the very least.
I can email them to you too.
Christian. Yeah. Email them to the list, Joe.
Oh, that'll be fine. Thank you.
That way everybody will have them.
You do have it, don't you? My email?
I'm looking here. I'm pretty sure that I have it from when I sent you the ZX80 or the TS1000.
Okay.
It's which mailbox it's in is my problem.
Just in case, I'll leave it to you here.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. That would be a big help. That way I'll have something to look back as a reference.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, I see you turned off your mic in your video. Did you go away, or are you still there? Adam might have gone away. And I want to wait until Adam's here to talk about the TS Pico stuff. Although maybe he can just watch it later. The guys behind the TS Pico, Ricardo, Gustavo, Jeff, have and largely Ricardo and Gustavo have been working on updating the software, and Ricardo has the software that runs on the Pico updated, and it does a lot of nifty things now. And he also wrote a program that will update the ROM, the flash ROM image, which is really nifty, without you having to like pull the chip out and program it in an external programmer. So it's really cool that it will update update that just with you running some code. Tim H T2, as it were, Tim 2, designed a printed circuit board that plugs into an expansion slot that emulates the ZX printer and the Timex Sinclair 2040 printer. And what it does, it's got a little Raspberry Pico Pi that's on the board, and it just monitors those data lines. Hang on, hold that up, David. I'm going to spotlight you. It monitors those data lines that the printer uses. And so when you go to print from a 1000, from a 2068, whatever, the computer sends the entire first row of pixels for the printer, and then it sends the next row and the next row and the next row. What this thing does is watches for that, collects the data, and assembles it back into characters, and then it does OCR on it within the Pico software. It's insane what Tim's managed to do. And this is also a Pico chip with Wi-Fi on it. So it's also running a web server. And once you've got it configured, you can connect to that Pico from your computer through the browser. And whenever you go to print something out, it shows up on your screen as this cool little printout. So Tim finally got it to the point where he felt comfortable with it, and was ready to release it to the wild. Okay. And I ordered a bunch of these, and we started playing with them. And the first thing that I discovered was, when used with the TS Pico, it'll print just a tiny bit. Like, it'll print the first line number, it'll print the first token keyword. In this case, it was print, what I was asking for. And then it would just kind of go crazy and generate gibberish. This is only in the case of L-list. And so we did some detective work, and we figured out that this is related to changes that Gustavo made to the Timex ROM to support the TS Pico and his command system within the ROM. And so we've been gathering data and giving it to Gustavo, and Gustavo gave me a revised version of the ROM, which improved the quality of the printout, but also had its own weird little bug. So Gustavo's still working on that. Once we get that issue worked out, we'll be able to put out the update for the TS Pico, and it'll work with Tim's printer board, in essence, and it will update all of the things necessary within your TS Pico magically. So,
David.
Yeah,
David.
Oh, Gustav,
sorry. Yes. No. Hi. Hello to the group. No. The last point regarding this print error is I talked with Ricardo, and Ricardo tried to test for the Pico side to see if the Pico printer, in the virtual Pico printer, receive the string as you are missing on the thermal printer or not. I still wait till this response to see what is part of the code I need to analyze.
Mm-hmm.
Because the question is, this string missing is printed or not? That is the big question. Because you receive in paper the second three or the next lines without problem, right? That's
right.
Only missing this string.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you reported a bug yesterday?
Yeah, I thought initially it was a Tim's printer bug, or an interaction, but it's solidly a Pico bug.
And Ryan, was that using L-list or L-print or what?
That was just L-print. I guess I didn't test the L-list.
Okay.
I was just test printing some stuff with his card, and I got this garbage, but it's only your first line of your first print. So it looks like the Pico's stuck something in the printer buffer, expecting it to get cleared when you print next, but it looks like, I'm guessing here, that the ROM clears that early on, and it doesn't clear it until you print a second line again, until you print a second line. This is what it looks like. So if whatever the Pico's doing might have to add a call or something to clear the print buffer
Okay.
to get rid of it.
Did you give? Are you able to reproduce this consistently? Ryan,
I'm sorry, say it again.
are you
I'm
able to
off.
reproduce it consistently? Is it, can you get it to do it every time?
Seems so. I could test it some more, but
Okay.
I did it with no cards in on a real printer, and I got the same dot pattern.
Okay.
So it's clearly the same information being put in there.
Okay. All right.
And so it shows up if you print the short line, so it doesn't overwrite all the bytes you see in the buffer. If you printed a full line at first, you wouldn't see there.
Okay. I saw your bug report, and we'll have to work through that as well. So yeah, and as David said, send them your sort of test reproduction instructions, and we'll work through that as well. But anyway,
Well, yeah, it's just in the image I posted on the issue, it's just L print those lines and it's what the command.
okay. So we're working through, a couple small bugs, and then hopefully we'll get that resolved in the not too distant future, and we'll be able to send out updates to everybody that has a TS Pico and that wants to, update theirs to the newest version. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Anything you guys want to talk about that we have not covered today?
Well, I got a surprise for you when you get your box.
Okay. That could be good or bad, Paul.
David?
Yeah.
Not really related to this, but remember I sent you that Pico 56?
Yes.
I printed your box for it.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
That out to you. I'm waiting for the screws. I put the heated inserts in, but I'm waiting for the screws for the inserts. I ran out of 10 screws. So
yeah, that's totally unrelated.
It's even got the multicolor.
Yeah, you and your multicolor 3D printer.
I might have something.
Yes.
The Vintage Computer Festival Midwest is going to have a telephone system. And you can request at your table that you have a phone line. You can actually request up to 4 phone lines for your table. For 2 days, you're going to be able to call basically like BBSing and stuff like that to other tables and things like that within the convention. It's really unique. It's really cool.
Mowgli's talked a little bit about that. Yeah, and it sounds really awesome. I'm not going to be ready to do that, but I would love to see it when I get there.
Yeah, so they will set up their own phone network. There will, of course, also be around the room an Ethernet network if you wanted it for something. I'm presuming they will also run their own Wi-Fi access points for the show as well, but I don't know. If you want to do something with your TS Pico or something like that, but I don't know specifically what that would be. But those are things that will almost certainly be available at VCF Midwest. I will probably I've already requested 2 phone lines because we're hoping to get a small early level switchboard working and doing useful and interesting things by then. An old Stromberg Carlson switchboard from the 1930s that I picked up.
Wow.
And I'll have a couple of like old phones, a candlestick phone, which was a big hit last year, and maybe some other weird looking phones. But yeah, if you want to set up a VBS and such, so they will have, I think Joey's using a Meridian switch. I think that's what he's bringing. It should be a fairly standard 48 volt phone switch. And it has all of the options. We're talking ISDN, we're talking all the digital side, we're talking the analog side. Almost anything you wanted to run, you could probably run through this phone network in some form or another.
So it'll do touch tone and pulse.
Oh yes, you can choose, and you can have everything from a simple POTS line to the more modern equivalent with all of the call waiting and all of the 3-way calling, and I forget what the other options are. So yeah, so those of you who like actually submitted a table request, there should have been a note in there about submitting a phone request and like what phone lines you wanted and so on and so forth. That was generally part of the table request.
I have a question for y'all who are old school, as it were. Who among the people here today used a 1000 or 1500 or 2068 with a modem? Okay, Paul.
Of course.
Okay. And Phil. All right. And okay, Joe. All right.
2068, yes.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't use a 1000 modem with my 1000.
Okay, don't jump all in at once, but talk to me about what you did, like which modem you used. I assume I'm not going to assume it, but the 2050 was sort of the obvious choice, but there was also the byte back modem, and if you got this SIO board that was available briefly, I guess you could have used any other modem. So talk to me about what you did using your modem and your Timex computer. Mowgli, you go first.
I had the 2050 modem connected to my 2068. Initially, before I got the Airco interface was when I mainly was using it. After I got the Airco interface, I didn't really use the modem much anymore because I was kind of busy with other things. And because I was actually, by that point, I was running a BBS with a friend of mine on his Apple II that lived like 4.5 blocks away. And so when we did BBS things, we often did it from his computer. And I didn't really do a lot of BBS stuff. This would have been in the late 1980s.
Okay.
Um, so I used it like in probably like 80, I want to say like 84, 85, and 80, maybe 86 a little bit. And then somewhere around there was where I got the Airco interface and got really involved in that. And oh, so the other thing is like I migrated from BBSing in that era to UUCP.
Mm.
And in addition to my 2068, which was in the basement, I had up in my room a 3B2 300 running Unix, which I set up as a UUCP client of our local UUCP hub. And so I was, what the hell was it? It was Node Samantha on CMHnet was our local hub, run by a guy named Gary Sanders, I think. Yeah. And basically, I kind of moved to the Usenet side of things and got out of the local BBS side somewhere about there.
Okay.
David,
Yeah.
I use two external modems on the 2068. I have one Hayes,
Okay.
and I use another Use Robotic. It's more new.
Yeah.
It's a 56K bandwidth. The reason is to use a serial port with the full DB25 connector. That is the key point, because you need all the signals, the carry, the tech, the ring indicator, DCD, DTR. That is the main issue related to the port. I don't know if the 2060 is the best modem actually, but it's necessary a full serial port to support any external modem to connect to
Right.
the computer,
And did
including
you, was this with your FDD system that you connected it to?
No, I have a special card,
Okay.
a special RS2032, because the FDD3 system only support DTR, DCD, no, DTR, no, the handshaking, but not support the ring indicator and all the lines necessary to connect the modem. You can connect the printer, you can connect the mouse, a few device serial, but not the modem. The modem, you need all the signals on the connector to support that, because you need to dial to see if you have an incoming call, incoming answer.
Right.
It's necessary full, including the serial, the wireless modem. You can also, in the new area, put a 4G or 3G modem, but you need to full connector in the same way. It's transparent. Yeah.
What terminal software did you use? And Mowgli, you too. Which did you use? M-Term Mowgli?
I use the M terminal and another terminal right by me in 64 columns.
Okay.
Because I use this modem to the ham radio. I have another PACOM, is a packet modem for use in radio.
Okay.
Yeah, I have three modems in total.
Mowgli,
what did you use for a terminal program?
I also used M-Term.
Okay. Joe, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I had the Byteback, and the Byteback came with its own terminal program.
Okay.
And I just connected to BBSs. There was a couple in South Bend, Indiana, and a couple in Ann Arbor, Michigan back then. I kind of lived out in the country, so everything was a long distance phone call. So it was,
oh boy,
any BBSing I wanted to do was after 9 p.m. when nobody would call in. Yeah, so it didn't drop the connection, and because we had call waiting, so it would beep beep and it would drop the connection. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Phil, what did you use?
Well, for the 2068, I had the 2050 modem.
Yeah.
And we use that mostly for BBSs, and few of the club members, we get together and share files,
Okay.
And on the QL, I actually ran a BBS for local rental association. And that was a struggle because that was the days of most of the businesses were just now getting their IBMs. They were running 3.1, and teaching these guys in our club to actually use a BBS was fun, but it was interesting times.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the reason I ask this is because I have my own little windmill that I'm tilting at, in essence, and that is emulating the 2050 using a Raspberry Pi, a Wi-Fi enabled Raspberry Pi Pico, and I have the board designed and most of the software written. I might have it ready to demonstrate in September at VCF Midwest. I've been able to connect using mTerm to the Raspberry Pi itself, and then the Raspberry Pi will connect to Wi-Fi and do all that sort of jazz. There's some other modems that people have built, mostly using the ESP32 devices, and then they've developed Haze-like commands, AT commands for connecting to your Wi-Fi network, for doing discovery in the Wi-Fi network, that sort of thing. So fingers crossed, I'll get it working by September. And so for those of you, who wish to connect your 2050 or even your 1000, to the internet, that may be a possibility later this year. One of my goals is to test it with Fred Nackbauer's ZX Term 80, which is a terminal program for the 1000 that does 32, 64, and 80 columns on the 1000. That should be interesting.
Which one of those are actually readable?
I know. I have no earthly idea because I've never run the. Well, actually, I have run the ZX Term 80 in an emulator, and it's, it's software characters. They're tiny,
Bigger TV.
What's that?
Bigger TV.
Bigger TV. Yes, right. That's exactly what I need. A TV, no less. Yes. Yeah. Adam, at this point, would point out that he would ask me, actually, Adam would ask me, do we have anybody new here? And I see somebody new in our participants list. Somebody is identified as Arnold. You're gonna have to turn your mic on, though. Down in the lower left-hand corner of Zoom is you know what? I can prompt you to unmute, and maybe you got a pop-up message or something.
Yeah, that is good afternoon to all. My name is Arnulfo Ordaz. I live in Mexico. This is the first time that I have the opportunity to join to this group, but from several years I saw the recorders. The Mondays at this time I'm making the super. My wife sent me the super, so I don't have the time to join. But at this time, just arrived at the right moment, and I'm very happy to be with you. In fact, congratulations to David, because I saw all the work that has been done around the 2068 in my times in studying in physics. This was my first computer and an Apple II in the Facultad de Ciencias in Mexico. And I used to this machine to make simulators in physics, all that while writing in machine language. I integrate the Euler equation for several demonstrations in the classroom for the students in physics in this time. I have maybe I have 5 of these machines, another the different kinds a spectrum. But for many years I live this hobby. But 2 years ago I go again to make mode for the machines. I have a problem and health problems, and I have to leave for some time. But I'm coming joining to this group for relieve this hobby. So I'm very grateful for work with you for anything that you want to make. At this time, my profession is a trainer. I'm certified trainer in several technologies as AWS, Azure, Google, in ITIL, and all time I'm training to people. I work in company of training in Mexico. This is Global Knowledge in Mexico, or NETEC, as you know. We have very installations in España, in Peru, in Chile, in Mexico. So I'm training in this company from 28 years.
Oh my gosh.
I dedicate so all kind of technologies I'm training. I'm instructor certified in several technologies, but and really I love this machine. And I remember that in this time I worked for a partner in Mexico. I don't have abilities to program a modem, but in this time my partner works in IBM, and we have the project to connect 2068 to a PC, and we transfer all the programs of the ZX Spectrum for the IBM network from Europa to Mexico, and we have the interface for change the ROM and use all the gamers, the games from the ZX Spectrum in this machine. My main interest was the electronics. I put to work the machine with the IBM printer and another things, and electronic devices. But my friends was very dedicated to games, and really I never game with this machine. I have another kind of interest over the 2068, but at this time I will try to join to this group to have the pleasure to share my knowledge in this machine and other things I can help in the technologies where I'm today make training for many people. Thank you, David. Thank you.
That's so cool. You said you did you used it to do some physics?
Yes, I studied physics. My all the work in this machine and the Apple II was to make very kind of physics simulators to teach to the students with the Apple II and this machine in the university. And I work in machine language in this machine in this time, and the Apple II.
So how did you get your 2068 computer back in the day, as it were?
In Mexico, we have to get this kind of equipment. How we can tell you, this is not an open market to get. We must to get from people that great from United States, and we have to go to a special places to get the machine out of the law. I don't know how we can spread this kind of a merchant this kind of
so unofficial
places. I can get from official place. No, that's what people that get from the United States and sell in Mexico out of the kind of business.
Yeah. Okay. Were there did you know other people who had Timex Sinclair computers or Sinclair computers?
Well, in Mexico, really just know one or two people.
Yeah.
In Guadalajara, it's a man that sell me one Timex maybe 2 years ago. And my friends, I lost the contact from maybe 10 years ago. I don't know someone in Mexico that's using this machine at this time, and we can share what I know that several places like, for example, Argentina.
Yeah.
And another one is in Colombia, but I don't have any contacts here in Mexico.
Wow. Okay, so you were all alone with your 2068 learning how to do it yourself.
Yes. In fact, I'm people that can study myself. All the I have the documents, I have the experience. Maybe 4 of these machines, I made the mods that you proposed to the power to enhance the power section, and in 3 machines, I changed all the chips and make the bases to make another modes based in the RAMs and in the ROMs. Wow. And the connection, for example, for Raspberry, that's something that I work for a month, but I leave the project for problems in my health. But I'm going to work in the futures. Maybe in 6 months, I will try to work. And then again with the machines, I get several equipment to make text, to analyze the signals of the processor and the memories, and try to understand how to get more of this machine. Wow. And in these months, I must to get a project for Python to teach all the career of development in AWS. So I tried to make the programs first, and for the Timex or the another machines that Ngo. I have an Ngo machine. And I try first the programming for, I like the graphics and simulations in 3D. And I think that this is a kind of programming that we can share with the students that develop code in Python to use in platforms like AWS in Azure. No? Something that can see in the screen. I think that's something to make a good example of how to make programming. No? And I will work, and again, with the programmation, but with Python.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you, for finally joining us. That's and I hope you come back, because to me this is just crazy. So Gustavo and Ricardo, who are the 2 main guys behind the Pico, they're from Argentina.
Yes, I have a Pico. Have a Pico too.
Oh, did I send you one?
Yes, yes, I have a Pico video and the Pico for
Okay.
use the uh, with another card. I don't remember. I have 3 cards that you sent me
Okay.
maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, I exchanged my contact to Arnold in Mexico because we all speak Spanish. Feel free to send an email to me in Spanish and not necessarily in English for any doubt or question. Okay, I open for you.
Thank you. Where do you live, Gustavo?
In Argentina, Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Okay. Okay.
I write the ROM extension for the TPI commands.
Okay.
For TS Pico. That was launched for the
This very
anniversary of the
card.
2068. Yeah.
In this time, I bought flexible disk, the IRCO flexible disk. This was the interface that was with this machine.
Yeah, I have one of those. I use the FDD 68. Yeah, the IRCO.
This interface, I live with my partner because they have a high productivity, and I released this interface.
What the release of ROM you have? 8.9 or 9?
I don't remember at this time.
Okay.
But I sent an email to David, and he sent me information about the how to get a car, how we can restart a car for the system, and then tell me that it's a new version for the Pico, but I don't follow that conversation.
So yeah, real quick, Gustavo Ricardo's largely finished with his updates to the Pico, and Gustavo is working on the printing issue. And then once we get that sorted out, we will be sending out, the upgrade package software for everybody who has a Pico. And then it just it does its magic all within the Pico itself. It's really cool that it can write its own ROM. So it'll write the new ROM image to the flash.
Okay.
Yeah. Which will be really
Thank you. I will follow this update with Ricardo and Gustavo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. So
and welcome.
So we have
thank you.
2 guys from Argentina. We've got, someone from at least. I know that there's another person from Mexico who's maybe joined our meetings once or twice. And then Tim, who's from New Zealand. And I just found out that we might have another person who lives just a few kilometers from Tim be joining us eventually. Just kind of crazy. Really cool. Hey, Stuart, how are you doing? We haven't seen you in a while. You got your audio off, Stuart. So you're only talking to yourself.
Unmute. All right. I'm doing okay. Trying to decide. I was just ordering screws for ZX81 cases, which I think are the ones I measure are like 2.2 millimeter diameter. So I have a bunch of ZX81 cases, I don't know, 20 or so. I don't really know how many. And I have no screws. So I was ordering screws. I have feet. I have rubber feet, but I don't have any screws. So I have never decided what to do with them. I just sell them, I guess. Yeah.
And you and I chatted last
week? I sent in the form for a table at the Midwest fair. I haven't heard anything back.
Let me think. I have not. You should have gotten the confirmation email for your submission.
Oh, yes, I got a confirmation of the submission,
Yep.
but
I
not
don't
whether
think
tables are available.
Yeah, they haven't sent that stuff out yet.
Bring in the feet, Stuart. I'll buy some off you.
Right. And for those of you who are sort of new here, back in the 80s, there was a company called Zebra Systems, and you could buy all manner of things for your Timex Sinclair computers. You could buy FDD disk systems. There was an adapter, actually the Koala pad plus a little adapter for your 2068 plus some paint software. There was a speech synthesizer. I'm trying to think some of the other oddball things that.
Are you talking about for which system? Because I was away for a bit. Is this for the 2068?
Speech synthesizer was for both the one. There was a version for the 1000 and a version for the 2068.
Okay.
The Koala pad thing, because the paint software, wouldn't run on the 1000, was only for the 2068. These are just some of the things that you could get from Zebra, plus a ton of software, plus a ton of books, and all this stuff. Stuart is Zebra Systems.
Yeah.
And it had neat T-shirts.
Right.
Right. Well, we happened to find T-shirts with zebras on them from some zoo in the Midwest. So we didn't design them, but when we found them, we liked to wear them. Yeah. And so anyway, when I closed Zebra, I had a lot of surplus stuff. I would buy the books in quantity when the publisher, was remaindering them. So I'm still selling a bunch of stuff on eBay, including, I think at last count, I have 17 kits left. Out of
the 1000?
Of ZX81 kits.
Oh, 81, yeah.
17 left.
How much do those go for now? Hundreds of dollars, right? Like many hundreds?
Like $400
Yeah.
with a Memotech 16K and some books and tapes thrown in. I get $400. So I'm kind of nursing them, paying for my makerspace dues. So I don't need, sometimes some months I don't even have one up on eBay. Some months I do. I figured why rush? One of the few things I do have in inventory that I have, I'd like to find a technological solution for is when I bought those, 3,200 kits, they were basically in 100 boxes. So there would be like 33 kits per box. Each box was like a yard cube, roughly. One of them I opened up and they were not kits, they were assembled. And I've never put them up for sale. And one reason is, on average, the ones I've tested have pretty poor video displays on, an old black and white TV and nothing on a new TV. Now, I believe they're all working. I mean, some have a sort of, I can see a video, but the back porch just isn't, there and whatever. I'd love to find like I've been thinking of putting something on Odesk or one of those websites looking for a RF engineer who would make a single frequency, like channel 33 RF decoder, and then combine that with a very up-to-date high-tech analysis of the video signal to end up with HDMI, without opening them. In other words, I don't want to have to open these units. So I don't know if anybody knows an RF engineer who would know, like, what are it's been decades and decades that people have been decoding TV RF. So I'm sure it's down to a chip that's probably 50 cents or something, but I don't know what that chip is. But I'm thinking, I have a box of those. I have like 30 of those things untouched. And plus, I mean, it would be an interesting RF adapter. I wouldn't expect the price to come down to, the adapters that when people open up a case and are willing to, get ahead of the RF modulator. But still, it would be an interesting thing for people who don't want to open up a ZX81 or a TS1000, but it's working. Any ideas?
Your kids, I assume they're all VHF?
The kits are all channel 33. Yeah.
Well, that's UHF, and I've had one of those, and I had no problem at all with interference. It was the ones that ran on, channel what, 3 or 4?
2 or 3.
2 and 3. Yeah.
2 and 3. Those are the ones that sucked.
Oh.
But
yeah, the problem wasn't so much interference with other stations or anything like that. It was the fact that the ULA didn't do a back porch black level.
Yeah, you're not getting a really
a good signal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart, are you saying that you said the kits were UHF, but were the assembled ones as well?
I have to double check. I think they are.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll double check.
Yeah.
So, a bunch of us, and now Stuart, are going to be at VCF Midwest. So it's going to be a big old party.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear a furry suit, however.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh, earlier in the meeting,
okay.
John, is John still? Yeah, John mentioned that last year's VCF Midwest had a group of furries just sort of parade their way through.
That must be something I don't know what you're talking about still, but okay.
Oh,
cool.
Furries? Oh, they're people.
Cosplay.
They dress up in these suits that make them look like
Animals.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're essentially animal affiliated cosplay is essentially the way that goes. And like most of those suits, you kind of look at them and go, okay, if you wear that for more than 10 minutes, you got to be sweating a hell of a lot in that thing. Because most of them are really full coverage and fur. And like in a non-air conditioned environment, that's got to be like an oven.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a thing they like to do. Certain people like to do.
Yeah, I will have to note that down. If I look up, I'm not going to find anything weird about these things, am I? Like, it seems like
it's all weird.
Sure, you are, but it's all weird.
Okay.
Yes, but we're all weird too. So, it's all a different. It's a different version of weird.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not
and they're into these computers, or they go there just because there's people and they hang out, or what's the deal?
No,
some of them are into computers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
One of the guys who's a regular in the Chicago area is also a furry.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I could wear my Kylo Ren outfit.
What's that, David?
I could wear my Kylo Ren outfit.
See, right, cosplay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to bring costumes. It's not a problem.
You could have a suit with a bunch of TS1000 stuck to it.
Yes. Yes.
You don't want to Google furry. That would you don't want to find out about it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it then. I think I've learned enough.
Yeah, just stick to the Reddit.
Okay.
Go on Reddit and type in.
I guess I'll just learn all I need because I'm going to this convention. So
it covers a broad scale of things.
Okay.
Like most human endeavors, it covers a very broad scale of human things.
Excellent. Yes. And
Think real life
it almost goes
Zootopia.
downhill. But yeah.
Yeah, it's Zootopia in real life. So.
Great.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Zootopia, not Utopia.
Exactly, Zootopia.
All right. It's
I have a quick question. I don't know if this was brought up, before I was away for a bit because we had some company stop by unannounced. And so Tim had his newsletter, and he had a little article about that company SoftSync that was selling the software that was from England. And I had mentioned to the group if there was some game called Gorilla something or other. And I was looking for it on your site, David, and I couldn't find it. So I was wondering if like SoftSync like had a lot of unannounced software that came out, or if that was
So when SoftSync was, started, it was largely it started with ZX80 program, and then some for the 81/1000, and then they were ramping up to do 2068 software, and of course it took forever for Timex to come out with the 2068, and then when they finally did, and then went out of business, right away. SoftSync sort of abandoned. I mean, not abandoned, but they were abandoned, so they stopped.
that makes sense why the software wasn't released then.
Right. And
I
that
see.
one that you asked about, I looked it up, and there's a Spectrum program with a similar name that is kind of like a Space Invaders type shoot 'em up, I think.
Okay.
Because when you first mentioned the name, I was thinking, oh, it's like a Donkey Kong clone, just based on name alone.
That's
right?
what I would think, yeah.
But no, it looked like Space Invaders clone. There's a brochure, I think. I'll have to go dig through my files, but I think there's a brochure of
like your paper files.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Because I haven't scanned it yet. I got a lot of stuff I haven't scanned yet. But I'm pretty sure there's a brochure from SoftSync about impending 2068 software, and like that little ad that Tim had.
I wonder where he found that. Maybe on your site or what?
Probably it was probably in Sync would be my guess. Because maybe Timex Sinclair user. Those were the two big ones.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. But I do know that Sue Courier certainly did not have nice things to say about the 1500, and she said something about the 2068 that in essence it was not great.
Right.
And they sort of already branched out a little bit. And
they sure did. Apparently, like they sold in what 99 to $23 million
for an obscene amount, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, wow.
PC software. So yeah. Unfortunately, there was a lot of things in the pipeline that collapsed.
Sure.
The pipeline collapsed.
But we're still going strong.
We're insanely enough. Yes. On that note, let's see, this is July. On that note, our next meeting is going to be Monday, August 4th. And actually, let's talk about this for a quick second. I am going to be out of town on the third Sunday in August. So we have one of two options. We could move it to the 24th, and then our Monday meeting would be almost immediate. Well, that's another question, actually. Our Monday meeting in September is Labor Day. The first day of September falls on September 1st, Labor Day, whatever. So we could move our third Sunday meeting in August to either the 10th or the 24th. Either way, it's going to be back to back with
the
Monday meeting.
If it's the 24th, I'll have to miss that one, but that's okay.
And in September, I don't know, how big of a deal is Labor Day for everybody else? Is it a thing where you'll be doing family stuff, or do you want to meet on that Monday?
This is family stuff, David.
It is a certain kind of family. Yes.
I'm going to wear my furries at the next meeting. It's going to be great.
The what now?
My furry thing, whatever. I don't know. I'll be standing up and posing for you. You'll be like, oh, I like it.
Okay, so our goal is to get Adam into a furry costume at VCF
Absolutely.
Midwest.
I know.
That's all right. Because he just volunteered for it.
Oh,
Right.
did I?
Sound that way.
And what animal will it be?
Right.
I'm not choosing. I'll let David choose. Okay, whatever. Oh, I'll be a zebra.
A
For
zebra.
Stewart's.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Yes.
Actually, a zebra would be cool.
Yeah. There you go.
You could go as the fruit stripe zebra. Remember
What?
fruit stripe gun? Do you ever see fruit stripe?
Oh yes, I do. I remember
Stuff that loses its flavor after 2 seconds.
We do have the problem, though. The question is whether he's the front end or that back end of the zebra. That's the question we have to decide.
Well, this is getting really deep, isn't it? Like, I think I'm starting to get sick in September. I don't think I can make it.
All right. So, do you guys have a preference? Do you want to meet in that third? Do you want to meet a second time on a Sunday in August, or do you want to skip? And if you want to meet, do you want to meet on the 10th or the 24th?
What was the day Adam couldn't make it? That's
Well, I can't make it the 20th. It's my birthday. So if you all want to send me my furry gift for that day, I'm going to be 53. So it's going to be, yep, I want some furry something. I'm gonna shut up about that subject now. Okay. No more about furries.
Yeah, I don't think you understand exactly how deep you're digging
I
it.
guess I don't.
Wait till you throw it at him before you.
It's fun to watch.
Okay. All righty.
What was wrong with the 17th of August?
I'm going to be out of town. I'll be driving, so we can't meet while I'm driving.
Greg is in a meeting he's driving right now.
Yeah.
Use hands-free.
I don't know if I could record on my phone and host a meeting. I don't know. That would be a challenge. So I'll be driving on the
I'll be traveling during that period as well, so I prefer not the 17th of August.
How do y'all feel about the 10th? Anybody have any objections to the 10th?
No objections.
Okay. I'm just going to go with the 10th. And it'll be back to back with the Monday meeting. That's cool. I mean, really the purpose of this Sunday meeting is to allow folks like Johnny Red to join us, where it is, I don't know, evening sometime, but not, some ridiculous hour of the morning in Europe, where he's in Portugal. All right, so
I thought it was 2:00 in the morning there or something absurd.
No.
Yes. Well, no, now it's 8 p.m.
Yeah, it's reasonable, right, Johnny?
Or now it's 10 p.m.
Okay.
Johnny, what time is it for you? I don't know if he's got his microphone on or I saw him.
He says it's 9 o'clock. He's 1 hour west of Germany, so.
Okay. All right.
I know the math for Germany.
Not terrible. Right. Cool. Okay. And I have upgraded my MailChimp so that I can schedule stuff ahead of time and it'll send out, regardless of whether I've been busy or not. So August 10th will be the street gaming. You guys do that a lot, Johnny. Maybe you can talk about that. I see what you're saying. August 10th will be the street, so you won't be here. Okay. You can tell us about it next time.
And I guess since you haven't mentioned it already, there's no scheduled thing that we're talking about.
Not yet.
Okay.
Right.
But you did say you're following up that list of like 2,000 people you found and put into a database, and you're going to try to follow up with some of those people and see if you can't talk to them, have them on.
Yeah. So one of the folks that I want to try to get is Stan Lemke, who wrote a desktop publishing program for the 2068. I think that'd be really nifty to have him come and talk. There's a couple other Timex folks that I'm trying to reach out to and get a hold of. One of whom is Rex Naden. He was the VP of something or t'other. I don't remember exactly what his title was, but he was the boss of the folks that George and George Grimm and others reported to. So like head of engineering, I think. He used to, and prior to working at Timex, he worked at TI on the TI 99 4A. So it's kind of interesting connection.
For sure.
Yeah, be interesting to have him on. So yeah, I'm working on trying to get a hold of people. It's a little difficult, with the 40-year gap.
Yeah,
but I'm working on it.
I mean, it's amazing that we have these meetings on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a hardcore Timex guy, and I try to attend them when I can. So
yeah,
cool.
Well, on that note, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna hit the stop recording, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.